Cowboys are currently staring at $26.5 million available in cap space. They can utilize that money to go out there and grab a few more guys. Now, according to most things what the Cowboys like to do, they like to evaluate their team and address their team via the draft. Every off season, they stare very hard at this salary cap and they penny pinch, and that's a philosophy that they pretty much live in. They really don't do outside moves as it relates to picking up free agent guys because of their core philosophy. And nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it if you want to be average at best. If you really want that one player to take you above, just above what your current team is about, then you have to go into the free agency to get a guy that's been around the corner, right? It's a gambler's game. But the last 10 Super Bowls that was won all came from free agent acquisition. Things that you do in the free agency. Picking up an extra guy with extra experience. Now, the Cowboys fooled around and waited too long. Earlier this morning, I posted and said, hey, Cowboys, you got $26.5 million available in cap space. Go out there and get you a guy that can help solidify this team. Now, do this mean that the Cowboys will be trash heading into the 2022 season? No. No. That do not equal that the Cowboys will be trash. I really think that the Cowboys still can win 10 plus games. Nevertheless, sometimes you got to be a little risky to get a guy that can really set your team and put them in places, whether it be leadership, experience, or just a whole change of scenery where a guy can go to a new team and feel something that he can really take on and establish that. Now, granted, with the $26.5 million, the last defensive edge rushers that's available for picking, because we missed out on Chandler Jones, right? We missed out on, of course, Von Miller. He outpriced himself. But that's a story of a different day. 6 years for $120 million. We all see that game. He won't probably last for the 6 years, but they covered themselves because they are banking on the Bills. They are banking on that new salary cap that will hit. Because we know we got a TV deal. So that's why they can throw that money at him and they can always kick that can down the road because of the new salary cap that will hit within the next 5 or 6 years. It will hit. And that's just going to be peanuts. But neither here nor there. We did miss out on a few other guys that the Cowboys should have brought in for a cup of coffee. It was reported from Newly Scruggs that the Cowboys didn't even put in an offer. They didn't even put in an offer for Von Miller. They just hyped up everything and said, yeah, we are interested and we are doing our due diligence. That's the news in the funnel wave that they told the reporters. They told the reporters that they were interested, which we all know that that was falsehood, right? Because they didn't even put in an offer, right? They didn't even offer a contract to Von Miller. Let that sink in. Now, Von Miller could have easily said, you know what, I'm down here in the Bahamas, I'm chilling with family. But man, these dudes didn't even pick up the phone and give me the courtesy call. Didn't even call my agent, you know. So that goes a long way. The Dallas Cowboys got to get out of their feelings, roll the sleeves up, and get to work. That's the bottom line. They got to get to work. I'm not trying to call the Cowboys lazy, crybabies, cap boy, or none of that stuff. You got to get out here to grind and get the players. Now, you depending to trust Will McClay and Chris Hall and all of those boys that do the scouting evaluation. Yeah, you trust those guys. You employ those guys to do a great job. But it's time, as the person that need to close these deals, to get up and go to work. Because a lot of people are looking at the moves of the Cowboys and they're saying, man, this Cowboy team is inept. This Cowboys front office is inept. These are the storylines that other GMs and other owners are saying about you. Now, I get it, right? You still make money. There's no extra incentive to winning the Super Bowl, by the way. There's no extra incentive to say, hey, these are the things that we were able to do. I get that part of it because this is a league that do revenue sharing. I get all of that, right? There's no extra incentive to win outside of bragging rights. And you can sit back on your 90s high horse and say, yeah, these are the things that we did in the 90s. And you can be all of this like, hey, real talk, these are the things we did in the 2000s. We built a $3.5 billion stadium. We built a $2.7 billion workout facility. We are groundbreaking with our technology, the most visible franchise team in the world, right? And we can talk about all of those accolades. But we want results, that hardware, Cowboy Nation. It's been since 1995-96 season that we done anything. That's a long time. And right now, people are laughing at the Cowboys on the way they handle their business and how they handle the front office overall, collectively handle their overall day-to-day operation. This mom and pop feel is getting old right about now. That 90s high is over with. So the Cowboys got to get back to work. They must figure out a way to get these deals done. They got $26.5 million. Before anybody say, hey man, you know, this is the Jones way and this is how things going to be. No, you can change it just like that. You can change it, Cowboy Nation. And Jerry Jones and John Stephen Jones get to work. Work out a deal. Look, I'm not saying you sign a person just because, but the longer you wait, the more and more opportunities for that star player to go somewhere else. Now, we still got Bobby Wagner that's available, Jadeveon Clowney that's available, and I think the Honey Badger, but I think he outpriced himself. Now, as far as the guys that's already on your team, go ahead and do J-Ron Curse a solid. Pick him up, let him do this thing. Let him do his thing back with the silver and blue. He's been a remarkable player for us. He was the green dot guy. You would think that you would put money to the side to go ahead and sign this man. I know he is not asking for $26.5 million. I know he ain't asking for that. But he deserves some recognition, some type of respect. Give the man a contract. Let that thing roll the right way, the best way possible. Let's fill this team up with some guys that's hungry. Let's fill this team up on the defensive side that's ready to go out there and hit something. Let's do these things. But you got to really stay focused and sharp, Cowboy Nation, and pretty much stop being lazy. That's all I can say. Because outside of that, I don't see any other way that this team is separating themselves from anybody else. I don't. Now, granted, we do draft pretty well. And the guys that we do draft is going to be a heavy level of optimism. Parson was a beast for us last season, right? And now we can look at things that we can pair up and match up with that. On top of that, Diggs, man, going into his now third year is going to get crazy, right? It's going to be even more dynamic in picking the ball out of the sky and doing all type of crazy things. And of course, our wonderful guy, CeeDee Lamb, who quote unquote is the leader of this wide receiver room now, because that's just by process of eliminations. Noah Brown and Simi Fehoko, those are your other wide receivers. Now we can go into the draft and say, okay, yeah, we're going to draft a wide receiver. But now it's time to spend money in the free agency for a wide receiver. You won't have Michael Gallup until probably week 3, week 4, maybe week 5 or week 6. Who knows? Don't want to rush this guy. And of course, you got to work out this long-term contract with Schultz because you already gave him the franchise tag. Work out one, get some more money in the pot. But still, you got $26.5 million. I'm going to keep saying that. Y'all put it in the chat. $26.5 million. Let's go, Cowboy Nation. Spend some of that money and get somebody in that's qualified, that ain't afraid to get out there and make something happen. Post me your list of guys that the Cowboys should target in this free agency. And let me know if your top 5 draft selection. Since we got a lot of draft picks, y'all let me know who you guys want to see in that silver and blue. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. DC for life. Let's go, baby.